Be good.
Medla bonita.
Well, hello there. Welcome again to the Monkey Tooth Podcast. It's your pal Andrew bringing you yet another episode with both a audio and video component. Today's guest is my new friend. Her name is Antolina Federova. She is a very unique individual that I met in Los Angeles at an art show that was one of a kind. Our mutual pal, Dawn Jansen, who is another person I would love to have on this program, introduced us at what I can only say is describe as the boldest individual art show I can imagine. I'll put a link up to Dawn's website. Maybe she's got some stuff there from that art show. But anyhow, Antolina and I met, and I just found her immediately captivating and interesting. And I sat with her probably for an hour and a half at the art show, and we agreed to do a podcast together, but it's taken a while. She went to Burning Man. I don't live in Los Angeles. Anyway, we did it this week and had a good conversation that I'm very very grateful to be able to share with you now. So she's going to tell you all about it. There are links to a lot of the things that we talked about in the show notes. You can find those and follow along with Antolina's many lives, which is the subject of today's show. Life is good. It's Tiffany's birthday this weekend. Pele ate something he should not have eaten that I hope all works out okay. I tried to make him puke, which I've never done before, and I think he might be a little mad at me. But fingers crossed. We'll see. Hopefully it all makes its way elsewhere. Life's good. Oh, and I've started a small company that I'd like to tell you about very briefly. It's called My Sound Legacy. That's MYSOUND legacy.com. That's the website. The business is just called Sound Legacy. And basically I'm creating audio documents for people you know and love, much like a podcast, but specifically for archival, non-publicized, just a thing that you will save, a document you will treasure forever of the people you know and love. It can be an aging grandparent, a parent, a child, anyone that you know of whose voice and story you would like to preserve. I'm doing that professionally here in the Bay Area of California. I'm also able to do it remotely. Learn more at Sound Legacy, mysoundlegacy.com. It's mysoundlegacy.com. I've got a book for sale. It's called The Moron at the End of This Book. It's currently on sale this weekend. If you're listening from the 21st and 22nd, it's $1. It's 99 cents if you want an ebook on Amazon. There'll be a link for that too. Sorry for all the commercials. I really just want to give you this episode with Antolina. Hope you enjoy it. I most certainly did. That's it. How easy was that? I think we're just under 4 minutes, kind of long. Hope everything's going great for you. Until next time, adios.
It's very good to see you again.
Thank you.
And you're just back from Burning Man.
Yes,
And you're
from 2 weeks out of civilization. So first time in my life I had a decompression. I highly recommend it to everyone. It's
yeah.
so great.
You feel decompressed after Burning Man?
Decompressed, but I still keep this balance. I mean that I brought some new habits from Burning Man to my daily life here in LA because I don't want to lose this feeling. I don't want to lose this state, this vibe and this energy. So I don't want to be like, okay, separate and it's the default world and they don't cross to each other. No.
Default world. That sounds like Burning Man.
That all burners call this reality
Yeah.
default world.
Default world. That's hilarious. Okay, well, so I definitely want to talk to you about Burning Man.
Okay.
But first, before we get there, there's a lot more to you than just your Burning Man life.
Hmm.
I met you, just for some context, I met you at an art show in LA. Our mutual friend Dawn was having this show where there were nude photos of her everywhere, which is like one of the boldest things. Can't even imagine doing something like that. But she's super bold and very funny and cool, and introduced us. And I found you really interesting right away. You started telling me about your philosophy and what you've done in your life,
Hmm.
and I would love to just do that conversation over, just so that the people who listen to this show can get to know you, and hopefully come away with a sense of what I did. Like, wow, this lady has lived a whole bunch of different lives. So, first of all, tell me again, you're from Belarus or Russia or
No,
Germany?
no, no.
Where are you from?
So I was born in Königsberg, but I spent my childhood in Ukraine, and
Okay.
I spent the biggest part of my life in Russia, and I also have relatives, and I spent my summer in Latvia. And even when I was in Russia, I traveled all over the world. So I visited like 60 different countries. So I've been in Europe probably each month. Now I'm stuck in LA.
Yeah.
I'm for almost 5 years in the US.
Okay. And you didn't originally come to LA, like you've been in many different states in the US, right? Or have you always been in California?
I visit so many different states as a tourist because before moving here, I've been in 20 different states. I've been here so many times for the last 10 years before immigration. And at the beginning, I moved to the San Francisco because I'm a
Right.
startup founder. Of course, Silicon Valley, San Francisco, what else?
Yeah.
But then when pandemic times has started, I decided, okay, I should choose something, and my choice was LA. That's an interesting story how I made my choice where to stay. So
Yeah.
I just
Why?
imagined that San Francisco and LA are people, just real personality. And just I described them as a character and I wrote letters to them. It feels like I was choosing the roommate.
Really?
For example, I wrote, so San Francisco was a guy, gay, IT guy. He was very nerd, creative, very socially active, um, introvert, dreamer, and cynical at the same time, you know. And LA was a girl, blonde girl, crazy with motorcycles, yoga, spiritual things. Uh, you know, Nobody knows how she makes money, but she has money all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I decided, okay, I'm gonna hang out with this girl.
Okay. That's fair enough. And I like, yeah, this is the second time I've heard you sort of work in archetypes. 'Cause I
Yeah,
know you were telling me
yeah, I
about
love
your other work.
archetypes, symbols.
Yeah.
I love writing, so that's why for me to choose
Mhm.
something, I just write.
Right. Okay. So you wrote letters to two different cities who you
Hmm.
personified in very, I would say, remarkably accurate ways. You obviously identified with one more than the other, and you've been in LA since the pandemic. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get there because there's a whole bunch of the rest of your life that is just crazy to me because you. Speaking of archetypes, I mean, you have lived obviously very many different lives,
Hmm.
and found. You told me about Anyme. Was that the
Any
founder,
beat.
the
Yeah,
startup that you founded?
yeah.
So, well, I want to get from the you to Anyme. Want to bridge that gap with your
Hmm.
childhood and sort of the many lives that you've led. So,
Hmm.
feel free to start with any one of those lives that you want to begin
Yeah.
with. Obviously, number one would be good, but
As I told you, I have an enemy. It's just one life course because I feel that it's like also like Burning Man. So you come to this festival, to this life. and you choose only to stay at one your camp and don't explore anything else, don't try any new kind of experiences, and be just very one line, very limited. So, and when I looked back and reflected about my life path, I realized that I already lived 10 different lives. By life, I mean different lifestyle, occupation, appearance, friends, I don't know, just everything. So, decorations of this reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably it would be better if I showed you pictures because it's it's more
Well,
impressive. I don't know how it's possible to do for a podcast, but anyway, I can tell
yeah.
you, describe
Well,
in words.
I would recommend people go read your post on Medium because
Might
it you
also,
sort of you wrote this all out and you have the images in there. And I'll
yeah.
put a link up to your thing,
Oh,
but to
thank you.
hear it in your voice, I think is a bit more compelling because I
Mm,
mean, just for one, your accent, I don't know that it's easy to place in any of the places that you've lived. I mean, maybe someone
mm.
with a better ear than me could say, "Oh yeah, she's definitely from here." But even your accent seems like it's moved with
Very
you,
mixed.
maybe. Very mixed, yeah. So, yeah, people can go read that and go look at the images there. And you've gone through certainly bodily transformations,
Hmm.
but you know the archetypal transformations are the ones that I'm mostly interested in because it's you've had so many different jobs, so many different
Yeah, but for
pursuits.
me, transformation, it's not like the goal. It's like,
Right.
it's just a game. It's
Okay.
just you should enjoy this process. It's always
Yeah.
challenging. It's always through some crisis, but you can
Hmm.
enjoy it, still enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. So
let
so
me
light
tell you some short
lifeline.
observation. Life number
Okay.
one. So I started when I was 20 years old, because before, when you're child, you change so many times. It's I don't consider it. So my first life, I was science obsessed student. I plan to dedicate my life to science, macroeconomy actually. So I was very book addicted, no friends, no parties, super introvert. I don't know, very sweet, very kind, no makeup. I was pretty big. I mean, maybe twice bigger than now. Yeah, so
Not feeling
mm,
healthy, just not in your body, or what when you?
I don't know. I think it was natural for my lifestyle there,
Yeah.
because I was really very nerd and not confident probably, and I didn't like people. So I
Uh-huh.
loved my books. I loved
Uh-huh.
my scientific paperwork.
Uh-huh.
So, and it was like this. So it's not wrong. It's not
No.
just, yeah, part of me.
Yeah.
But then life number two. So I
And, and
used to work in the band.
and what made you choose life number two? I mean, was it gradual, or were you like, hey, I need to, here's my enemy. I can't be on this one linear path. I'm gonna fight my enemy now.
I
Or
just
was it
started to listen to music, and that
okay?
changed my life.
That was it, just music.
Just
What
music.
what
Yeah,
music?
because when I was a teenager, I missed this period of life. I mean
Uh,
that I didn't listen to music. I was like,
uh,
just missed it.
so
And life number two,
well, two questions. Sorry.
yeah.
So, how old were you, and then what sort of music are we talking?
You mean when I was life number two?
Yeah, when you made the
Yeah,
transition
so
into
I
listening to music.
was 21, not
Okay,
22, 21 probably, yeah. And it was rock music.
just rock and roll. Yeah.
But it was not like heavy metal, it was more like rock and roll, I don't know, Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, something like
Hmm.
this,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
some Russian rock music.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like
I don't know any Russian
The
bands. Give.
Cure, something like this. So it's
Yeah.
not like super crazy, but still weird enough,
Yeah.
and something that really
Yeah. Okay.
life-changing.
So, give me a name of a Russian rock band that I can look up.
Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie.
Yeah, do you
Okay.
know this famous English writer?
Yeah.
The same name.
Okay.
And they were pretty big there. I mean, in Russia, and also in Sweden. So they were
Okay.
like, I don't know, huge stadiums, like very big one.
Okay. Sorry for the tangent. So, you start listening to Agatha Christie and Rolling Stones, and you
Yeah.
decide to make a change.
Yes. So
Okay.
at the time, I already left my university, and I started to work in the band, like from 9 to 6, 5/7, all the things. And at the same time, I spent all my bank salary for visiting rock concerts.
Okay.
And after all, I started to host some home concerts at my apartment in Moscow. So there were lots of crazy parties, this after hang with guitars till 8 o'clock in the morning on the kitchen. That was crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so
You're
uh,
having your first like teenage experience after years of
it was more than teenage because you have resources, you have your own apartment,
right.
you can host it, so you can be part of it. You
Yeah,
can hang out of it. I don't know, it's different, and I have also resources to visit all the shows, so I didn't
right.
ask my parents to allow me to do
Right, right.
something. Actually. Yeah. So, and life number three,
Okay.
because I decided to step on the other side of this world, I mean, music world, and
Uh-huh.
I started to work in show business. And I
Now,
worked so hard,
how did you get your
so
first
fucking
gig?
hard.
How did you get your first gig? Just through people that you'd met going to shows, or how did you, and what were you doing?
I've started to be a manager of some young rock musical band.
Uh-huh.
So they were not famous, but still it gave me so many connections and realizing how that industry works. And
Yeah.
I worked like a volunteer. At the beginning, it was super challenging.
Yeah.
Hustling, so you don't know money, and I didn't expect it, believe me. So it was such a huge disappointment, but still I loved it. And somehow my first huge show was at Amy Winehouse in Moscow. It was a private event, and she was my first foreign artist. I mean, like a global level. And after that, I worked with Goran Bregovic, then Shakira, then Alexandra Stan, Eros Ramazzotti. Then I became a manager of Boney M. Like official representative
Wow.
in Russia, in Ukraine, in Belarus, all these countries. So I became, I don't know, like a manager at all huge festivals in Russia, like Nashestvit, like Russian Woodstock with 200,000 capacity. It's just 3 days,
Wow.
yeah, or Cyber Jazz. So that's why I know so many worldwide famous jazz musicians. So it was a
And
lot for me.
so
I
you were,
worked everywhere. I was on tour. I
yeah.
organized my own festivals, my own shows. I worked as a part of the agency, attack concerts. So it was a lot.
And just because you wanted something different and you didn't want to work in a bank and just go to shows, you would just work at the shows.
I was
That's,
just, I at that moment, I thought that musicians are just holy people, like
yeah.
absolutely, I don't know, out of this world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought that it's my honor to serve them.
Okay. Wow. I just like to make that leap. Like, I really like music. I'll manage musicians.
Mhm.
Like did you have any
Why
idea,
not?
but did you have any idea, like what gave you the confidence to think, I think I could manage a band. I think I could help
I
you.
don't know. I didn't think about it. I can't say that I was thinking, oh, should I go this or this? So it was so natural
Yeah.
that I don't know. I just made what I love and
Yeah.
I didn't think a
Wow.
lot about it.
Incredible. I mean, it's an incredible thing because to most people that would sound insane. Like, what? I think I'll just manage a rock band. Like it just has like a level of difficulty to it and a level of familiarity that people don't just show up. Like it's one thing to say, I think I'll be a waiter, and you have to
Mhm.
learn how to wait tables, but it's like the learning curve on becoming a manager of a band is
But
very steep.
it was difficult because there are no any type of education in this industry.
Yeah.
Maybe nowadays it's much better, but was long time ago. Social media were not so developed, and
Uh,
this industry is very closed. I mean that they don't like
mhm.
outsiders here.
Yeah. So yeah.
Mm,
Well, I mean, there's got to be something about you as a person that seems trustworthy and interesting, and yeah, clearly you're hardworking and not afraid to try new things?
But first year I was rejected so many times.
Sure.
I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to work with experienced manager. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And you just managed to get the enough experience for people to believe in you.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's true. Okay,
Okay.
my life number 4.
Oh, wait, what happened to 3? So wait, sorry. What was 3? Did I miss 3?
Science student,
Uh-huh.
bank worker, and
Okay.
show business manager.
4. Got it. Sorry.
Yeah, life
Let
number
me
4.
write
I
that down.
became a producer, like a real event producer. So I started to get some money, some big money. And I was very fancy. I mean, that I loved all these brands like Chanel, Dolce Gabbana. I don't know. I had always red nails, red Jaguar, red high heels. So I was very classy and very bitchy, very glamorous and super bitchy. I
Bitchy.
hated musicians.
Can't even picture it. You were bitchy. Okay. I can't picture you being bitchy. It just I don't know you well enough, I guess. It's in there?
I need to
Okay.
picture you can see. I was,
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, because, at that level of Korean show business, everyone wants to be friends with you because you can give them some tickets for some events or introduce to some influential people or to some celebrities. And I don't know.
Yeah. No time for it. You were just cutting people off.
Yeah, yeah. But in general, I became so cynical.
Uh,
I didn't trust anyone. I didn't trust myself. Self-confidence, not nice at all,
uh.
but not happy.
Did the people in your life, like your old friends or family, did they notice and say anything? Like, "Yeah, Antolina, this is not good," or did anybody say anything to you about it?
No, no, not really.
No?
But anyway, I lived alone, so my parents
Uh,
was in another city, and
right.
I don't remember it.
Yeah. Maybe Russian families are different. I feel like if I had suddenly turned into this, you know, bitchy person, my family would have been like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" But no one said anything to you. They just saw you
Mm,
were doing well and making money and just left you alone.
No, I can't say that I was bitchy to my close friends,
Oh, I
but I
see.
mean in general that I didn't like people,
Okay. All right.
and I
Uh,
didn't like
were
musicians.
were you happy in any way?
At this like number 4, no, some moments that I were happy, but in general, I don't think so.
Yeah. Were you chasing more and more, or were you just like, did you have an outcome that you envisioned for yourself that you were aiming towards, or what?
But I enjoyed being like kind of a star, you know,
Uh,
like this kind of personality, like I'm a queen or something. It's all about ego. I mean, this
all right.
period of yeah,
Okay. So, but it
some
wasn't
Vanity Fair.
right, but it wasn't fulfilling you on like a deeper level. You weren't
No,
feeling like,
probably that's why I came to life number 5.
okay, here we go.
Yeah, life number 5. Absolutely unemployment, no concerts, no music at all.
You just
Um,
quit the music business? You just said,
yeah.
okay. You sell
Mm,
all your stuff? What'd you do with all your fancy stuff?
no fancy stuff at all.
Okay.
So, and I spent probably a year for some spiritual things. So, yoga, meditations, spiritual retreats, shamans, human design. So, I explored all kind of techniques that helped me to find myself. It was like this process of searching.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, because I realized that I don't want to relate to this industry at all, and I left it, but I had no idea what to do with my
That sounds familiar. It sounds
life.
very familiar. So
Yeah, and
what
of course, so I've started to follow some spiritual gurus.
I
I've
was
started to do all that stuff.
I was gonna
By
ask
the way, I
if a guru
lost
showed
like
up.
50 kilos because when I didn't have any stress, so I've lost lots of, yeah, I don't know how many pounds, but
Yeah,
that's a lot.
I don't either. It's a lot. Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds heavy. I don't know. 50 kilos. Like what would weigh 50 kilos? Like give me like a little kid. How much does a little kid weigh? Like a 5-year-old.
Oh, I don't know. But it looks like I've changed XXL to S.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. I can that's a lot. That's
Yeah,
quite a
that's a
bit.
lot. So I had completely different appearance and I was so calm, so
Relaxed.
careless,
Yeah.
so relaxed.
And you had a guru, sort
Lots
of.
of them.
Lots.
Not
Okay.
I haven't been in some kind of sect or something like this. So
No
I also
cult. You
I've been
know,
rather independent, but still I was searching and searching really
right.
hard, you know.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
studied lots of things.
Yeah.
And I'm
Anything that
really
you
grateful to that period.
do you still is there anything that you still have as part of your life from that period?
Yeah, of course. I still
Yeah.
use human design in my daily life. I still
What's that?
use human design.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
That's a system. It's like a mix of astrology, Chinese sacral geometry, chakra system, all the
I see.
things. But it's a logical system, so I still respect it.
Do you
Yeah.
have to know it to get a ticket to Burning Man?
Sorry?
So do you have to know it to get a ticket to Burning Man? I'm just kidding. It sounds like a very Burning Man
Yeah,
human
yeah.
design. Cool. All right, I'll check it out.
But at that period of life, I had no idea about Burning.
Sure. Sure. Were you still living in Europe at that point? Were
Yeah.
you in yeah, okay.
So, but after that, I became a different person. Like number 6.
Okay.
That was a blonde girl with very social life, like social butterfly, very fancy life. I mean, like fashion weeks, some art premieres, some exhibitions, something like this. And I hang out with some big politicians, businessmen, and I was an owner of my own agency about
Okay.
experiences. So I provided like VIP gifts for people who had everything.
Okay.
So it was my business.
This is you explained a little bit of this to me. You told me about the movie The Game with
Hmm.
Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
And that was you were without the violence and crazy scary
No,
shit, but
actually not,
this
because
is something different.
I made something like movies again here in LA,
Oh,
but in
okay.
Russia I made different things.
Is it the one where you could try out any profession
Yeah,
for?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Tell me more
So it
about
was
that,
more
because
for fun, It wasn't something like crazy and psychological. It was more like
entertaining and
yeah,
yeah,
entertaining. So some dreams from childhood, something cute, it's like
yeah.
memorable.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's
and I've
pretty
got
well.
my
So
clients just from that parties.
yeah,
Was easy.
what made you? Where did you get the idea to do that?
After all these searches of myself, I realized lots of things, but I still didn't get what should I do with my life. So what kind of business, what kind of career to choose. And that's why I thought that probably there is an agency in the world or in Moscow or somewhere else that could organize for me a test drive of my potential career path. And of course, I started to Google it.
And you
And I
couldn't
was
find it.
so surprised that I didn't find anything like this. I said, why? It's so obvious because so many people like me, they need to know because if you buy a new car, of course you can read something about it on the internet, watch YouTube, but still you need to test drive just 15 minutes to drive it before buying it. And your career, your business, it's even more important because you invest your time, your life, your energy,
Mhm.
money at least, you know? So, and I thought, okay, I should organize by myself.
And you did
And
it.
I made it.
What was it called?
That's Smena Kadra. It
Right.
means like the change of perspective. It's literally
Okay.
translated.
I like that. Change of perspective.
Yeah.
And that did well. People responded well to it, and you were busy.
But at the beginning, I had this idea that people will uh, test the business call, predestination, but at the end, it became more like entertainment. Less practical, but more like fun.
Wild. What a wild thing to do. And did you like would you document it in any way, or it was just for them to remember?
No, I have some videos. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
so
if
you would
you
film people and
enter in YouTube Smena Kadra, you will see some videos how that
how,
works.
how do you spell that? Oh,
Uh,
ugh,
Smena, Smena, Smena,
okay,
and the second word is Kadra. It's Kadra.
okay, look it up. Okay,
Yeah, so that was fun.
very fascinating. Okay,
Yeah, and when I became this fancy blonde girl, always with makeup, always some pink dresses, some high heels, a glass of champagne every time. You see me,
okay.
only champagne.
Only champagne.
Yeah.
You and my wife would get along. She likes the
Hmm.
champagne. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
you're in Moscow.
Yeah.
You're running this, and you've changed into a whole new person.
Yeah.
And
And fact number 7,
are you
also my
feeling
Moscow part.
more fulfilled and happier as a person? Like a bit more. Are you feeling restless still, or are you feeling more like okay in your skin in life number 7?
Life number 7 was not happy, not emotional at all. So I was super disappointed. I mean, in
Okay.
general, in life and society, and all this, also Vanity Fair. Um, so I
Okay.
became, I had very black hairs, so I cut it like this. So
Uh,
no cute pink dresses at all. So I was smart, but sharp. Like I don't know, I didn't trust anything. And I loved experiments. I experienced everything. And even my project became more wild, more challenging. So I thought that I can do absolutely everything
uh-huh.
and just please tell me what I want to do it. Tell me. It's like
Yeah.
because I was so bored. So I
Bored.
had money, I had connections, I had my apartments, I had some resources, but I wasn't happy. And I worked with my therapist about, okay, I don't feel anything, just nothing. No, no music, nothing touch me, at all.
Hmm.
Probably that's why right now I appreciate so much if I feel anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter good emotions or bad emotions, it's still emotions. That's valuable. That's like precious.
Wow. All right. And so you've
7.
did you
And
stop
then
drinking?
life
No more
number 8.
champagne?
Huh?
No more champagne?
No more champagne. No.
Okay. All right.
Maybe red
Life.
wine. Yeah.
Okay. That's good for darkness.
Very
Yeah.
dramatic.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Life 8.
And life number 8. Not boring. So I startup founder in California, San Francisco, and LA.
And
No home, no documents, no money, no friends, no connections, no home because I was a nomad. So my first year in California was
moved around.
absolutely crazy because I
Uh,
changed 57 different places to stay per year. So, and the whole life was a small backpack.
mm.
So, sport shoes, a white t-shirt, jeans, no
Uh,
fancy
how
high
old were you
heels.
at this point? How old?
31.
Okay. So after in 10 years, 8 lives in 10 years, 7 lives in 10 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So you're
Um,
traveling around California trying to
yeah.
figure it out.
And I started to hang out with IT guys, VCs, these people that I didn't meet before. And yeah. And if in life number 7, I thought that I already knew everything, in life number 10, I realized that I don't know absolutely anything. So I'm
Okay.
like, I don't know, baby, like
Uh,
very naive, but very positive, adventure addicted. I
mhm.
was so happy. I don't know. It was hustling like crazy. So, but for me, it was like a fun. Okay, I should survive here. Okay, I should survive there. Oh, so interesting. I'm
Mhm.
so curious how we'll handle this situation. Oh, and this situation. Pandemic times, great. So now all hostels and B&B hotels are closed. Okay, let's see how. And it was real playful, And I've founded this startup, NEB. It's also about experiences, but it's more like mass market, more affordable, and it's like Airbnb for professionals. So it means to connect experts from all over the world with people who need to try this experience, also in real
Hmm.
life.
Right. And that's NEB, like the B or the letter
Yeah,
B?
like be anyone. So
NEB.
5 letters, anyone, and B-E,
Yeah.
neb.com.
Yeah. It's still
Yeah,
functioning? Is it still out there?
yeah, it works. It
That's
operates.
cool.
Yeah.
And so you were living in San Francisco, and
Yeah,
then the
San
pen.
Francisco. So I was there a few months, and then I
Uh-huh.
moved to LA. But
Okay.
still, I hang out with the startup community.
Uh-huh.
We work. I don't know,
Yeah.
lots of IT guys. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. So and that's 2020, like
yeah,
right around the pandemic. Okay.
yeah,
So that's only life 8. We still got 2 to go.
yeah.
Okay.
Life number 9.
All right.
Oh, drama queen, survivor, total black, motorcycle. Yeah, black leather pants. This kind of crazy stories. I've started to write. I mean, I just wrote about my experience with some long, pathetic, uh, long read posts. I mean, in Facebook, and I became like kind of a star at some community because I was super social. I visited so many events, mostly Russian speaking at that moment. So I've been absolutely everywhere, and this kind of hero.
Okay. Yeah. The
Yeah,
hero.
like it's like also
Yes.
movie character. And
Uh-huh.
I had very long hairs, like you don't see, but really long motorcycle, could you imagine? So I came to all my business meetings. So I used to ride motorcycle every day in LA, and I came in
Wow.
this helmet with long hairs and like, hey, I'm here. So
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
and
And
lots of drama and hustling. I mean, that I had so many different jobs and activities that it wasn't romantic at all.
no. But hectic and busy, a little wild, or no? Was it
When I
was it a wild? Was it like, were you very very busy, like overwhelmed type of stuff, or were you like
I was
just
tired, but I don't know, I just had so many different activities at the same time,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it's
And
like probably the high level of hostel culture.
okay, the high level casting couch, and is
Olympic
this
Games of different hostel culture.
the prolific? Is that is that when you started going to Burning Man?
Yeah, so my first Burning Man was in 2021, Renegade.
Okay. Oh, yeah, the because there wasn't a real Burning Man that year. It was like a
I consider it like a real Burning Man, and even there, so in my
oh the
passport also they considered like, yeah, it was a Burning Man
it was
still.
it was I guess it was 2020 that they didn't
No,
have like a
2020 it was like just small camping for a few thousand people,
right.
but in 2021 it was 30,000 people, and
Oh.
still it was
Okay. So
not like 100% real Burning Man, but still Burning Man, yeah, I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And then so yeah, that's Life 9. You're wearing the black.
Yeah, and in
You
Burning
don't
Man also I was total black.
yeah.
Mm,
Did you ride your motorbike to Burning Man? Did you take
No,
it out there? Okay. Okay. You don't have a motorbike anymore, do
no,
you?
I don't have
You got rid of it? Okay.
because I had rather strong motorcycle accident, and probably it was the end of my life number 9.
Okay. What happened?
Um, mm, so just at Venice, at daytime, nothing too crazy, just a car hit me, and I went to the fence, and there was like real emergency on my motorcycle was died. I also I was between life and death about 6 hours, so I was an emergency,
Oh,
bloody. So I don't know if you see the scar here
I can't
because
see it.
the doctor just took this black thread and sewed. I mean, that everything, I was
Wow.
so destroyed. So I had no idea if I survived or not because I had that a strong closed facial fracture.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was also interesting because, at that moment, I thought that all my life is dedicated to this startup, to this mission, to bring
Uh-huh.
people access to multiple lives. And I should just, if my startup, my company, um, doesn't succeed, I should die. So because it's like, what else can I do in this life?
Wow.
And I was so shocked probably that at that moment, very close to death, I didn't think about my job. No.
What did you think about?
Some personal things, some tenderness. So I don't know. I reminded some very simple and small things, kisses, like I don't know,
Yeah.
nothing like career or something crazy. It's
Yeah.
like very simple things. Yeah,
Just love and human
love.
connection and
Yeah.
yeah.
hmm
That makes sense. I mean, that's
Yeah, but I didn't expect this from myself.
really, you
Yeah.
still felt maybe you were a little more cynical than you realized, or
Yeah, so I thought that it's not so important. So I just ignored it. It's like, who cares? I'm about big ideas.
uh, no time for love, too busy.
hmm
Okay, so an accident
Accident.
brought
And
you
then
to,
my life number 10.
which is current. Are you
No,
in 10? A 10 is beyond you, is behind you. Okay, so
yeah.
what happened? What's 10?
I became a very creative person, a writer, narrative designer. So I
Narrative
became
design.
to hang out with Petit Hermitage, with some European communities, musicians, very bohemian lifestyle. And, also probably it's the first time when I started to realize myself as a creative person. And I've started to earn money by my talent. I mean, by writing, by creating scripts. So I wrote scripts for some very high-end immersive events. Yeah, so it was very interesting. And I was surrounded only by creative people, lots of French people. Yeah, and I moved to West Hollywood. So I also wear black, but only dresses, only
Yeah,
this kind of decadence. Yeah, I think it's the
yeah,
best word that could describe my life number 10, decadence. I was rather depressed,
yeah.
but it was a very beautiful kind of depression.
Like a beautiful darkness.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Very dark, very mysterious. So I was a witch in my life number 10.
Okay. Witchy. Knife number
Hmm?
10 is witchy. Now, can you
No, I had
describe
lots of books like this.
the occult? Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That was awfully close by. So now, can you tell me a little bit about these immersive events? Like, what were you? Can you describe one, or maybe kind of give an idea of what that means to people who might not know?
Yeah, of course. So, for example, we made an event like do you know this museum Vizcaya in Miami? So it's like Versailles. So we made like a party, like it's France of 16th century. Or for example, we made an event like it's Arabic Nights, and or it's Roaring Twenties, or it's a
Uh-huh.
Dracula theme, or any other theme. And as an experienced producer, I had to create what people should do. So I have my partner Lisa, and she creates like the whole things. I mean, the aesthetic, and I'm the person who is responsible for creative part, for performers, experiences, the narrative, the legend behind this theme. Yeah, and some big budget for it, and I love playing with some real life thing and fiction and mix it. When
Yeah.
you don't know, is it an actor or it's just a regular guest? And so I love creating the rules. It's like crafting realities,
Yeah.
and it's so beautiful,
Yeah.
very inspiring. It's also like Burning Man, but you see, I came to Burning Man and then look at this and it's like, wow, it's my daily routine. That's what I'm doing. Just for life.
Yeah. The people in costumes, everybody
Yeah,
doing some
yeah,
sort of, yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
And I create, okay, you should do this one, you should do this one. So I write some action cards, I create games, and People, yeah, even they don't know me. Sometimes I even don't visit it, but they play according to my scripts, and that's
Wow,
interesting.
that is interesting.
Yeah, and some events are not only in the US. So, for example, we made like huge events, like 4 days in Italy. Very
Wow.
immersive, crazy, like the famous mafia, rock and roll, punk rock, and Midsummer Night. I mean, Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So it's or
Wow.
some events are the worldwide, and that's interesting.
Very interesting. So, have you ever been to something like that as a guest?
Yeah.
You have. And do you feel like do you do it better than other people? I mean, like, I know everybody's,
Mm,
are you still learning? Do you think you,
no, I'm still learning. I think I'm just curious. I know that
yeah.
I'm that guest who could really appreciate the
Uh-huh.
whole thing. I mean, because there's lots of job that you don't see.
Right.
And sometimes I really get upset when I see that I created these things, and so many details. But people don't care about it. They care about talking to each other, making selfie for Instagram, and they didn't pay attention to all artistic things. They don't read all this magical science.
Uh,
And I know that when I'm a guest, or even for Burning Man, I know that I'm a perfect guest for Burning Man because I engage for 100%. I appreciate absolutely everything. I read what does it mean, this art, or why
right.
it's connected to this one. And yeah, I wish
Yeah.
I had more guests like me at my events.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't compare, so should I do better or they do better? Because it's creative things. You
Right.
can't say my song better or your song better. It's
Right, right.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
also
I
it's an
know.
art.
Like, I'm sure you live in LA, you're around movie people.
Yeah,
Like, if you watch a movie with someone who works in movies, that it's like they don't get the same joy out of it necessarily because they know how it all works. I mean,
yeah.
they get a, it's not,
Yeah,
I'm
also
not
I
saying it's
can't
worse,
say
but
that I enjoy for 100% because I still analyze.
you're analyzing. Yeah, yeah.
But I
Which is
love it.
its own
I don't
joy.
know. I don't
Yeah.
see something wrong. I lost this passion when I worked in show business
Mhm,
for some period of time. I didn't enjoy music at all. So I just
mhm,
like I came to show and said, oh, what sound is it? What light is it? So
mhm.
how long is delay? How many people they can? Some other things, overthinking, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I miss the magic.
Yeah. But now as a person, I mean, just do you think this has changed your appreciation of art in general?
Yeah, I think so. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Because you know how
And in
much work
general,
it takes
when
to.
you write scripts, you can play with your own narrative.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because every one of your lives is sort of building to this thing where you help other people do the thing that you've done, like to just see some other, you know,
perspective.
or just to see the game for what it is. It's a game that you can play with,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
That's kind of, I mean, the idea of just play, that things that life, it's hard to say that life is just a game because it is so tragic and it can be
yeah,
so hard and such deep sadness can come from it. But I don't know. I mean, it does often feel like we're in some sort of strange game because we don't know the purpose. We don't know all the rules. You know, I feel like I'm just making it up as I go along.
mm,
And I like what you're doing because it's helping people maybe not take themselves so seriously.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the main thing that I've
Yeah.
learned.
Okay.
'Cause I also had so many dramatic situations, but then wait, wait, wait. Why are you so serious about it? Okay, you can handle this one. Just
Uh,
left your ego behind, and yeah, play.
play. So that was now you're saying you're in life number 11 now? What what are you
It's
doing
very
differently now?
unexpected.
Because when I met you, I saw you and I ended up giving you a ride home because you were like, yeah, I walked here. I was like, oh, you live nearby. And I kind of, you lived like 20 minutes away. You walked to this party. It was like 100 degrees outside. And you walked
It
all
was
the way
40 minutes, but I love walking.
40. You walked almost an hour in
Yeah.
this, like, maybe it was 95, 100 degree heat to go to a party. So you're not driving a motorcycle.
No.
You're not taking Uber. Like
No.
you're just walking around LA. So tell me what's going on with you now. What's life 11?
So when I met you, I told you this is like the end of my life number 10 because I feel that I don't belong anymore to this community. I know this feeling. I don't belong anymore to Petite. I don't belong anymore to this witchy, dark, creative things. But I had no idea how it looks like be my life number 11 because I know that I'm a producer of this reality, but I can't produce it for myself. I mean, for the whole thing. And this Burning Man, I think it was like initiation, the beginning of life number 11. I have very mysterious things. First of all, I've changed black to white. So because,
Okay.
I always had, if you remember, black nails, everything black. I still have lots of black clothes. I don't know what to do, but now I'm in white. And
You're
believe
very
me or
old.
not, like people don't recognize me. Seriously. And now I think I'm definitely much more positive, probably more romantic in my life number 11. And right now I'm focused more on business and creative part. Uh, Focused more on creating community. I want to make it AF society, like a private membership club. Some people who have this mindset of players, but it's more about maybe less creative. Right now, I even probably hire a writer to create scripts for my agency.
Nice.
But it's like, we'll see.
Yeah. Now, your background, what'd you go to school for? Did you go to school for science or did you study
Economy.
psychology, right, economy, but did you do anything in psychology or any of that sort of thing or no? You
No,
just
I don't have
that
any professional psychological degree, but I've
Mhm.
studied it so much. I mean,
Right.
I've learned so many theories. I've read so many books. I also have uh, lots of therapists. I had them, and I always listen to some lectures, not popular psychology, but some real stuff from
Right.
Stanford. I mean, like long concept
Right.
stuff like Reels and Instagram. So that's
Yeah.
why I always was curious about it. But I don't have professional degree. But
Mhm.
right now I have some partners in neuroscience, behavioral therapy, and some Americans with PhD in psychology, and I want to just hire these people to work with them.
Yeah. Because it definitely seems like there's a part of your approach is engaging with the psyche and the
Yeah,
psychology
yeah.
of a human in a different
One
way.
my a friend called me psyche artist.
A
I said,
psyche
what?
artist?
Psyche artist.
Interesting.
Because I thought, oh, but you are an artist. You also thought I'm not an artist. So because I didn't produce anything, so no, wait. Oh,
Wow.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet that's some Burning Man stuff. Did you hear that at Burning Man or no?
Sorry?
Did that come from Burning Man or was that
No, no.
in the
It's just
default
my
world?
friend who is genius, so that's why probably.
Yeah, okay.
It was very
Nice.
honor. It's a big honor to listen to
Yeah.
hear it from him.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and this tournament, it was so interesting because it was such a great balance for me of giving and receiving.
Hmm.
Because, for example, last year I was uh giving so much. I mean, I was an artist. I built literally a huge pink unicorn as a flyer, as an art object. I was building the camp. I was giving so many experiences, activities, and all the things.
Yeah.
In 2022, I was this person who were receiving.
Hmm.
So, and I got like, okay, surprise me, give me this one. I had four more. I need to be everywhere and try this, try this, try this. But I don't think that I gave a lot to the
Hmm.
community, to the player. And this year it was amazing because I found this balance. And I didn't make anything according to the schedule, according to the book. No. And I've got so many amazing spontaneous experiences. I've met so many great people there. And I was also a part of the magic, apply magic to some other people. For
Nice.
example, I've seen one very sad guy. I've seen at his face. He's Russian for sure. Or Ukraine. I mean, in general, this Slavic sadness, I've seen
Hmm.
it. and some
Slavic set.
classical music was on the background. He was so like kind of upset, but inside.
Mhm.
And I just came to him and I've started to read in Russian Brodsky. Brodsky is a very famous and very unique Russian poet. There's very beautiful poem that match just perfectly to this moment. I mean, to this music, to his mood. And I just
Mhm.
started to read it, just my heart. And he was surprised. He was crying, And I
Wow.
just, okay, I made it. And I finished my reading and just it disappeared.
Oh,
And
that's great. That's
and
great.
so and I just started to look for the moment when I some people meet me. For example, I've seen a girl. She was so exhausted and tired. It was like a sunrise, and she was like, she wanted to stay, but her body was so tired.
Yeah.
And I just came, do you want massage? And she looked at me like I'm an angel from the middle
Wow.
of nowhere. And I really am good at massage. And I just made like a really proper massage of your shoulders, your
Wow.
neck. And it was great, And she was so happy and I left.
Wow.
So, and another experience. I was just hanging out at some lounge. I don't know even where it was. I was alone there, and was so many tarot cards, also very Berlin style, around me. And
Yeah.
one man just came to me, "Hey, do tarot readings?" So, yeah,
Yes. Do you?
yeah, and I didn't do it professionally, but I know how
Right.
to do it.
Okay.
And it was so powerful. I mean, that it's not me, it's some magic through me.
Right.
Just
Right.
told these words to this guy, and I made tarot. I explained what does it mean, so what should do. And he was also great. It was so accurate. That's
Wow.
insane.
Wow.
And that's what I love. Oh, I made some experience like face reading or kind of immersive theater or some other thing that this person, this very particular person needs at this moment. And that's great.
Mhm.
That's the best thing that I could do for them.
That's interesting. I watched you when I first met you. You were talking to one guy who I think might have been from Belarus, maybe, and
Ah,
another guy
yeah,
from
yeah,
France, and you were
French.
speaking both of their languages. And you recited a poem in both, I think, Russian
Yeah,
and in French, and you don't
yes.
know French, right? You're just learning French.
Actually, right now I'm learning French, but first
Uh-huh.
of all, I memorized French poems because I really love how it sounds.
Yeah.
And when I memorized it, I had no ideas what does it mean. I mean, each word. I knew in general the meaning of the poem, but
Hmm.
I had no idea what I'm pronouncing.
Yeah.
And now I'm rather committed. So, except Berlin, I study French every day, 1 hour.
Wow.
But it's so complicated. So I hope in a year I could
You'll be a lot better.
just
You will be. You will be. That's just
speak some
how it
small
goes.
talk with some
Yeah, yeah.
native speakers.
But so the poetry thing interests me because it's
Yeah.
such a like when you memorize a poem, it's a very specific thing to do,
Uh, but
to
I love it. It's not like something to impress some other people. That's my way of stress management, probably.
yeah.
And I can
Can,
read poems by heart like hours, literally.
can
In Russian, I mean, mostly. I know some of them in English, but
well,
still in Russian, it's easier for me.
I would love to hear because the one that was just standing there listening to you speak in Russian to this guy, and then it was funny because like when you started to recite the poem, I didn't know what you guys were saying in Russian, but I
Oh,
knew immediately that it was a poem.
oh,
So it was
beautiful.
really kind of cool. Was that it would be awkward for me to ask you to recite a
Sure.
poem
You
right
mean
now?
this poem, that French, Paul Verlaine?
Or any poem in Russian? I'd love to hear it. Is that okay? Is that putting you on the
Yeah, of
spot too
course.
much?
No, I love poems.
Okay.
Okay, let me think. So, what kind of poem should you? What if I read you the poem of Marion Sitai? Do you know who is Lilith?
Lilith?
Yeah, first wife of Adam.
Oh,
It's also
tell
an archetype. very
Okay.
strong archetype.
Yeah, yeah.
So there are two types of women, Eve and Lilith and Adam.
Okay.
And according to so many different religious sources, the first wife was Lilith, and they were absolutely equal with Adam. And she was made from fire, he was made from earth, and they had conflicts because she didn't want to obey him, to serve him,
Right.
and she was very sexy, very smart, and rebellious spirit. And and one day Adam came to God and said, "Oh, I can't handle this woman. Could you give me, please, normal woman who would obey me, who would be always agree with me, and just normal, nice woman, but also the same appearance, also a beautiful place."
Of course.
I said, "Okay, take Eve." And they expelled Lilith from heaven, from Adam, and she was demonized, and yes, like the mother of all demons, and still there are so many rituals that protect a man from Lilith, because if any man had night directions, that Lilith came to him, and the special amulet to protect people. Or if
Oh,
there's some affair, it's also Lilith's fault. And it's a very beautiful poem,
wow.
how Lilith wrote a letter to Adam.
Okay. I want to hear it.
Как живется вам в другое? Проще ведь? Удар весла, линии береговой, скоро память отошла обо мне. Плавучим остров, по небу, не по водам, души, быть вам сестрами, не любовницами вам. Как живется вам с простой женщиной, без божеств? Государыню с престола свергший сонного сошед. Как живется вам? Хлопочется, держится, остается как? С пошлиной, бессмертной пошлости. Как справляетесь, бедняк? Свойства несъедобней снеть, приестся не синяй. Как живется вам с подобием, вам, поправшемуся най? Как живется вам с товаром рыночным? Оброк крутой? После мраморов Каррары. Как живется вам с трухою гипсовой, лыбящей очень бог, иначе разбит? Как живется вам, 100-тысячный, вам, познавшему Лилит? Thank you.
I can just imagine Adam felt this big. Adam felt big. I have no idea what you said to him, but I imagine he does not feel great.
It's like, how is life, Adam, with this woman?
Yeah, with your
Oh, really? You
plain.
like it? Ah, okay. So it's very beachy probably, but very beautiful. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Thank you. And you, do you know it in English also, or
No,
yeah,
I'm not even sure that it was translated into English. I mean,
yeah?
professionally.
And what's it called? What's the title? And what do you call it? It's just from Lilith to Adam, or
No, it's like the try of jealousy. Marina Tsvetaeva.
I'm gonna have to. I'll ask you to text that to me because I'll never
Okay,
be.
yeah, I'll text you.
My spelling
I'll
is
Google it.
shit
Maybe
anyway.
there is an English translation. Let's do it.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's very, very cool. Thank you that's the first time on this podcast anybody's spoken Russian, and I appreciate it. I mean, it's a funny time to be. I've got Jewish friends who feel weird about all the bombing, and they have this sort of inner angst. Do you feel any of that as a Russian person, like with the war in Ukraine? I mean, you're both, right? I mean,
I'm part Ukrainian.
yeah. So where's
Because
your
I speak
head?
Ukrainian as well, and I spent my
Yeah.
childhood in Ukraine. And I also have an apartment in Ukraine.
Man, where in Kiev?
Yeah, and I also have so many friends.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
But still, I appreciate culture. I mean, Russian
yeah,
culture, Ukrainian culture, politics. Yeah, it's super cruel, but art is just
yeah.
out of this kind of thing.
I've been asked a similar question because I'm from the South. I come
Yeah.
from Tennessee and Mississippi, and people are like, "Oh my God," they appraise it as this place of racism and small-mindedness, and that's not all of it. There's a lot of culture. There's a lot of different kinds of people there,
Yeah.
For sure, there's aspects of it that I don't agree with or don't like, but that doesn't make me write off the entire place.
Hmm.
I can appreciate your take on it. And I appreciate you. I'm really glad that you agreed to do this and share a portion of your nearly dozen lives. I mean, you got to get a dozen, you got hopefully a long way to
We'll
go.
see how many lives I will have in the future. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, if you've lived, you know, nearly a dozen lives in a dozen years, I'd say you got a few more to go. That's pretty great. So next up is just love and compassion and creativity. I mean, that seems like the trajectory you're on. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
what's the name of your production company now? What do you call?
AF Experiences. Yeah. It's my initials, by the way.
Yes.
afexperiences.com.
All right, cool. I will put a link up to it. If you could give a message to in life number one, like if you could bridge the gap between current you
Oh,
and past you, and
it's a
you could
huge gap.
talk to her, like would she listen to you or would she talk to you, and what would you say?
I know what kind of experience I would choose. Probably it's in no words because that girl that she already knows everything. That she is very certain in her life, and I probably would ask her to be more open-minded
Uh-huh.
and allow some magic happen to her. Oh, but yeah, I would make an experience for this girl. I can't imagine that girl moved to LA and she's hanging out at Burning Man, and I've met like literally thousands of friends. I don't know how that happened, but my community, it's like thousands. Like everyone,
Wow.
I know mostly all the artists, and I couldn't imagine that girl was super afraid of talking to people. And to make this gap. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's so far a very beautiful life. I'm happy for you, and I'm glad to
Thank you.
thank you to Dawn for introducing us.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
look.
So I was so very curious because my birthday is just a few days from now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, my
very
birthday
cool.
is on September 17th.
September 17th. All right.
Yeah. So
That's like
so
I
mm,
like. I guess I like Virgos. My wife, her birthday is the 22nd.
hmm,
So I guess
great.
Virgos are my kind of people. It's very to me like meeting people like you who have this capacity for memory and like this bravery of tackling experience and a desire to share that with other people it gives me hope.
Uh,
It gives me some hope that things are going to be okay. That like people younger than me and my age, we're all right. You know, we're okay.
sure. Yeah.
So thank you for giving me a little hope in humanity.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I really appreciate your attention and general kind of conversation.
absolutely. Well, we'll do it again sometime. I'll keep up with what you're up to.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Cheers.